Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. In this video, I'll tell you about a 56-year-old foreigner found not alive in a Cebu condo, female German national arrested in the Philippines, a Japanese fugitive nabbed. Will Donald Trump actually use the US military to force mass deportation? Plus much more. Let's get straight into our main story. A foreigner passed away in Horizon 101 condominium with no foul play in Cebu City at 4:20 p.m. afternoon. The assistant detachment commander of the Horizon 101 condominium was at the police station. He was the one who informed the police about the passing away of the foreigner as a guest. The deceased is known as Robert Sloan Moyer, a British national, 56 years old, who was found lifeless in the unit. A 17-year-old from the northern Poblacion, San Fernando, Cebu, younger brother of the foreigner's ex-girlfriend, is the one who called for help from the hotel staff that Moyer was having difficulty breathing, and he is expected to undergo autopsy later on. That's the truth and reality, the sad part of traveling, especially by yourself in a foreign country. You never know what could happen to you. This could happen to any of us. So may he rest in peace. RIP to this gentleman. Condolences to his family. It's always best to keep your loved ones informed about your whereabouts. Even if you don't talk to them, even if you're not on good terms, send somebody an email. Let them know where you're staying in case something like this happens. Honestly, personally, I wouldn't even know where to begin. I have no idea what the procedure, the process, the steps are and would be if I were to, something might happen to me tomorrow. But yeah, kind of like a reminder that life is short. Next up, a 48-year-old German woman, Evangeline Schmidt, was arrested in the Philippines for crimes she committed in Germany. Schmidt is accused of crimes against children, allowing her husband to hurt them while she stayed with him for the money. The German government asked the Philippines to help find her and to send her back to Germany so she could face her crimes. Schmidt is now in detention while waiting to be deported. The Philippines will ban her from re-entering the country once she's sent back. Now, I'm not really sure if this is a Filipino woman married to a German person, if this is a German national itself. I couldn't tell with the blur. It doesn't matter who it is. It's just surprising that it's a woman. Usually these types of acts are committed by males, usually, statistically speaking. But there's a lot of women out there as well that try to make a profit, get some money. And anyone, whether you're a man, woman, someone that identifies as a rabbit, I don't care. And they're all criminals to me. And I'm glad that the Philippines government is really pushing hard to capture a lot of these people that are here to commit crimes against people that are not 18 yet. Let's finish up with the expats doing bad things. A 31-year-old Japanese man, Kuru Tomoya, was arrested in the Philippines on November 15th for theft and fraud committed in Japan. Kuru had applied for a tourist visa extension at the Bureau of Immigration office in Taguig, but was flagged as a fugitive during a background check. Japanese authorities had issued an arrest warrant for him in August for breaking into a former workplace, stealing items, and committing fraud. Kuru used the stolen bank book to swindle a bank employee out of nearly 8 million yen. He is now in detention awaiting deportation back to Japan. More on a robbery coming up later on. But yeah, I guess every country has some bad apples. Hey, speaking of country, let's talk about one closer to home. The United States will provide another $1 million US for urgent humanitarian aid for the Philippines after facing 6 typhoons in less than a month. It was announced by the U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin during his meeting with the President Marcos yesterday on November 18th. More aid coming from different countries toward the Philippines because they're suffering so much from these typhoons. President-elect Donald Trump confirmed plans to declare a national emergency on border security and use the U.S. military to carry out mass deportations of undocumented migrants. Immigration was a central issue in his campaign, and Trump has vowed to reverse a surge in border crossings under President Biden's administration. He reposted a statement on his social media platform, Truth Social, confirming his intent to use military resources to address the Biden invasion and carry out deportations. Trump's rhetoric has frequently framed immigration as a threat, using terms like invasion and making inflammatory claims about migrants. He has also proposed invoking the Alien Enemies Act to expedite deportations, despite critics arguing the law. Yeah, not very Asia, but like I said, a lot of us are in the U.S., North America, and what the U.S. does affect all of us around the world. What do you think of that, of this mass migration plan, or mass deportation plan, I should say, that he is willing, and at least he says he's going to use the U.S. military to go ahead and carry these plans. A lot of times politicians say a lot of things to gain a political position, but this man's already won the election, so I'm curious to see whether he goes through with the plan or not. And one more very quick story regarding the U.S. The U.S. has green-lighted Ukraine's use of ATACMs in response to Russian barrage So Biden clears Ukraine for long-range missile strikes, basically inside of Russia. Cool. So now the current president, Biden, has given the okay and go ahead to launch long-range missiles into Russia. I thought this war was going to end by now. I can't believe 2024 and we still have wars. I guess I was naive thinking that the world would be at peace one day, but I guess it's not going to happen in my lifetime. I don't know. I guess what is war is profit, right? It's not that difficult to understand. If you're an adult, you know that war generates money and those in power are never going to have enough. So cool. More war to come. Okay, now let's go on over to Thailand for the usual monkey business. Around 200 monkeys caused a chaos after escaping from Pokao Tan Monkey Nursery in Lap Buri, Thailand. The escape occurred when the monkeys rocked the cage so intensely that it broke, allowing them to roam freely. The cheeky creatures surprised locals and police by entering homes and even the Tahin police station, creating lighthearted yet urgent situation for authorities. Local authorities acted quickly, repairing the broken cage and reinforcing it to prevent further escapes. By Sunday, around 40 monkeys had voluntarily returned, attracted by food. Teams from the Department of National Parks, Wildlife, and Plant Conservation are still working to track and capture the remaining monkeys. This unusual incident serves as a reminder of the challenges of managing wildlife in urban areas. Yeah, monkeys are tricky, man. These guys, I mean, come on. I love monkeys actually, but when I was in Bali, they used to come into the balcony right outside in the hotel and try to like look for cookies and such because they used to have coffee out there. Anyways, I don't know why I'm telling you guys that, but basically monkeys are smart, they're tricky, they're clever, they'll open up doors, they'll come in your place, they'll do whatever they want basically because they know most humans don't want to really mess with them. Staying in Thailand, a 10-year-old homeless Thai boy was arrested for stealing valuables worth 3.5 million baht from an Australian businesswoman, Tony Ann Hughes, in Pattaya. Hughes reported the break-in after returning to her rented house to find luxury jewelry and accessories missing, including Cartier and Rolex items. CCTV footage captured the boy, identified only as A, wearing a t-shirt and shorts with backpack. Police located and arrested him at an abandoned plot near Nong Ur Temple, recovering all the stolen items. The items were returned to Hughes, and the boy was taken to children's shelter for questioning. Specialists will conduct further interviews to determine the next steps. Something tells me this little 10-year-old boy did not plan this by himself. I wonder who was involved. Let's stay in that region in Cambodia. Cambodia's water festival attracted over 6.2 million visitors to Phnom Penh, celebrating Asian Khmer Marine Forces and the end of the rainy season with vibrant boat races, cultural preservation, and nationwide participation. This festival continues to captivate both locals and international tourists. I would love to visit this. I was just recently, for the first time, surprisingly, at Songkran in Thailand, their water festival. I had a blast. I had a wonderful time. It's not something I would recommend to do every year. Maybe you can if you want. It's kind of fun, but it's something I really want to experience at least once in my life. The amazing water fights everywhere is really fun for me. And lastly, authorities in India capital shut schools, halted construction, and banned non-essential trucks from entering the city on Monday after air pollution shot up to its worst level this season, 50 times the safe level. I've traveled to many countries, and I'd have to say Delhi, India had the worst pollution that I ever saw in my life in my travels. And it got so bad that my beard started getting patchy. I started getting holes in my beard until I left India. I was there for 3 months, quite the wild adventure. But the point is, the pollution there is out of hand. Have you guys been to India? Let me know, because I know it's a country that is kind of like a toss-up. Some people really love it, some people hate it. I overall would say I had a great time, but there were some really interesting, difficult moments as well. There's a whole playlist on my main channel if you guys want to watch my India travels and journeys. But yeah, let me know what you think of India or any of the stories I covered today. Share your thoughts. If you take the time to write it, I'll take the time to respond. And let's go on to our segment called Yesterday Today, where I read some of the most popular comments regarding our previous video. Yesterday's main story was about 4 American PDF files who were denied entry into the Philippines. And Wavemaker says a lot of PDF files have been banned from entering the Philippines, but why are they allowed to leave the US in the first place? They should not be allowed to travel to other countries, especially if they have predatory records. I agree, but I think there are so many ways around that. And especially if you're a criminal, you're going to find a way. You know, this old saying, if there's a will, there's a way. It's not right, but I think that's what happens. But the system itself catches them based on facial recognition and other obviously red flags that the customs and BI looks into. So I'm glad they were at least caught. Red Bart says those 4 should get 10 years just for showing up and finding out. Fafo. 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 That means fuck around and find out, I think. Colleen says, I love Mike Tyson, sir. I'm on his side all the way. Me too. Although a lot of people are saying that fight was thrown. And lastly, Youth says UK pensioners who live abroad are not entitled to the annual cost of living increases as pensioners who reside in the UK. So over the years they live overseas, their purchasing power of their pensions goes down. To get around this, some pensioners maintain a UK address of residence while living overseas. This is considered fraud by the UK government. Excellent point, and I'm so happy you guys gave me all the information regarding the pensions, because somebody else made a very good point. I'm going to try to find the actual comment and put it up here at the end. But they said that it's a problem not because the person living where he's living, but it's a problem because sometimes these pensioners pass away and the families that are with them, they basically continue cashing their checks, right? So that's why they want to make sure that doesn't happen, right? And if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll see you guys tomorrow with some more news. Bye. What a faffle. Fuck out of here. What does that mean?